Where's the Micromax video? If that is what you're thinking, I got the review unit this time. I'm using it as my primary and I will have a full review for you guys in a few days. But today I've got something spectacularly special for you. I'm going to be unboxing not just one, but two of the hottest phones around, the Redmi K40 and the K40 Pro in the same video. Which is why if you suck hot phones like these, you need to be doing two separate videos, you idiot. No wonder your views suck. I don't know guys, I am trying to keep things efficient. Given that these phones are very similar with actually just 6 differences between both of them. There's actually 3 main ones, but even if I stretch it a lot, I could say there are 6 differences. That's the max. I think you guys will appreciate the fact that this is all covered in one single video. So, hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech. And if you do end up liking what you see here, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon, all that good stuff. Let's now get started. So these are the boxes, both the K40 and the K40 Pro come in. Pretty identical, right? White and black. Now before we open them up, a big, huge thank you to 28Mobile for making this video happen. If you want to pick up either the K40 or the K40 Pro or pretty much any phone that's not available in your market, 28Mobile is the place to go. The site's easy to use, the service is excellent, and the shipping very quick. I'll leave a link to 28mobile.com in the description below. Please check them out if you haven't yet. They are this video sponsor, right? Okay, yes, that too. Now let's get to the actual unboxing, starting with the Black Pro and of the white K40. Both have inserts inside. We have some ejector tools, the regular quick start guides, and that is followed by the regular soft TPU cases. Next up, we get to the phones themselves. Guys, here's the deal. Visually, there is no difference between these two phones. As in here we have the K40 in white and the K40 Pro in black. Both phones are available in both colors. In fact, white, black, Aurora, those are the 3 color variants that Redmi is offering. The black pattern that you see here though, that is exclusive to the Pro. The regular K40's back black is just plain. Next up, we have identical 33-watt chargers in the box. And yes, unlike with the Mi 11, this time they've included the charger in the box, which is why the box, it's bigger than what we saw with the Mi 11. Now maybe this is happening because Redmi is an independent company now. Finally, we have a Type A to Type C cable with orange accents. So that's pretty much it for what's in the box. Let's now get to the Redmi K40 and the K40 Pro. So, like I said, there are 6 differences between these phones. What are they? Well, before we get to that, let's take a look at some similarities. So guys, from this point onwards, when I say K40, it applies to both the K40 and the K40 Pro unless I explicitly state otherwise. So let's start with the build here. We have glass to the front and back held together by a plastic frame. The phone feels surprisingly slim in hand. The sub 8mm thickness coupled with the sub 200g weight makes this one of the sleeker options around these days. Now that does not make it single-hand use friendly because it's still pretty wide. The highlights with this build though are, now the power key here, it is present to the right and it has a fingerprint scanner built in. But unlike most power key fingerprint scanner combos, this one isn't recessed. It feels just like any other power key. We have stereo speakers to the top and bottom, no headphone jack though. The SIM tray that you see, it supports dual SIMs. And here's where we run into difference number 1. The K40 supports 5G only via one SIM slot, while the K40 Pro, with that you can use 2 5G SIM cards at once. Now to the front we have a 6.67 inch Super AMOLED panel. This is supposedly a Samsung E4 panel, whatever that means. It goes up to 120Hz and is also HDR capable, which means parts of this display can go up to 1300 nits of brightness. Now that's 100 nits higher than what we see on the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max or Redmi Note 10 Pro and 200 nits lower than what we saw with the Mi 11. So it's still very decent. Globally, with regards to just using the display outdoors and all that, the display peaks at 900 nits, which is amazing for outdoor use. We get adaptive colors, which is MIUI's version of Apple's True Tone. So the screen temperature changes based on the ambient lighting. Talking about screen temperature, there's a lot of room to tinker around with regards to colors. And as this is Super AMOLED, always on is also present and it's highly customizable. Now, this display, it's protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. Redmi does not mention any kind of protection for the back. So that is a con, apart from that plastic frame. Now, another thing worth noting is that this centered punch hole to the top, this is a Pro because it's smaller than what we've seen even with the Xiaomi Mi 11. Now inside this punch hole is a 20 megapixel selfie camera. It makes for fast face unlock. By the way, it's the same hardware on both phones. The K40 does support 1080p 30, that's the max resolution, max frame rate, whereas with the selfie camera on the K40 Pro you can go up to 1080 60. Barring that, the performance, as you guys can see, it's pretty identical, good selfies. Now the rear camera is yet another differentiating factor. So that's difference number 3 for those keeping count. The Redmi K40 sports a 48 megapixel Sony IMX582 sensor with a f1.8 aperture lens. The K40 Pro on the other hand, it sports a 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 sensor with an f1.9 lens. The pictures, as you can see, turned out good on both. At first glance, you really can't tell them apart. Weirdly, when zooming in, the K40's image looks sharper. Of course, that's software sharpening at play here, but the performance of both sensors, they felt eerily close. I'll have more to say in my full review, of course. Oops, that rhymed. Not intentional. Now the secondary camera is an 8 megapixel f2.2 with an ultra wide lens, a 119 degree field of view to be precise. I don't expect any difference here since it's exactly the same sensor on both, the same combination, and I didn't notice any difference either, so no surprises. The third one is a 5 megapixel macro there to make up numbers as always with every other brand out there. On the video front, we get to difference number 4. The K40 Pro can shoot up to 8K at 30 FPS, pretty crisp footage. There's also 4K 60, while the K40 tops out at 4K 30, possibly a limitation of the IMX582 sensor. It is worth noting that at 4K 30, weirdly both cameras have some focus hunting issues. Now this isn't something we see at 1080p or in the case of the K40 Pro at 4K 60 or 8K. So like I said, this seems to be a very weird software bug. Okay, with that done, let's move on to difference number 5, the specs inside. The K40 Pro, it's powered by the latest flagship Snapdragon 888 chip, while the K40 has the overclocked version of last year's flagship Snapdragon 865 Plus. Now this one's been rechristened Snapdragon 870. We get 6 and 8 gigs of DDR5 RAM on both. The Pro does get higher clock speeds with the RAM. The storage is UFS 3.1, 128 or 256 gigs. So from a performance perspective, the Redmi K40 Pro, it's obviously stronger, but the K40 should still deliver a real flagship experience. Talking about experience, MIUI 12 on top of Android 11 is what drives the user experience here. And in my limited time with these phones so far, I really liked what I was seeing. The phones, both of them felt smooth to use. I couldn't differentiate between both while just using the software. Not that you're expected to, because, you know, when you go higher and higher up the spec chain, there is a certain point of diminishing returns, and I feel we've reached that. Now, I expect the gaming performance to show a little bit of difference, as in the K40 Pro with the 888 should provide a few more FPS, but for the most part, I expect both of them to excel at gaming. As far as battery goes, we've got 4520 mAh on the inside with both phones, and the included 33-watt charger is supposed to help them go from 0 to 100 in 52 minutes flat. There's also support for USB PD 3.0 and Quick Charge 3 Plus. Guys, at this point, I also want to mention one more thing. Redmi, apart from the K40 and the K40 Pro, they also have a K40 Pro Plus, which is basically the K40 Pro, but instead of that 64 megapixel f1.9, it has a 108 megapixel f1.8 for a primary. And it's available only with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. Now, why is this important? Because current rumors indicate that the Pro might remain a China exclusive, while that Pro Plus could make its way over to India as the Mi 11X. If it does so, under 50,000 rupees, it might just break the ROG Phone 5 stronghold in that segment. Break. You see what I did there? The jerry rig everything video? Okay, so what do all these phones cost you? Here are the prices on screen, and that is difference number 6, the final difference, the pricing. The 6128 K40 starts at 1999 yuan, and the prices go all the way up to 3699 yuan for the 12-56 K40 Pro Plus. The pricing seems very reasonable given what Redmi has on offer here. Till now, probably the best value phone, or rather the best flagship killer phone this year, I'd say it would be the Motorola Edge S. But this seems to be even better value. So anyway guys, K40, K40 Pro, which review would you want to see first? Leave a comment down below, and whichever one you guys want to see first, I'll get that done. So I guess that's pretty much it for this quick little unboxing. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.